So I gotta tell you this story about when I was 18 and I was invited to the Soviet Union as a student ambassador. I was excited that I'd be, one of the first Americans that they'd ever meet over there. So I get over there full of hopes and dreams, and they did not have a lot of fruit and vegetables over there for us. And let's just say after a couple weeks, I got stopped up. The tour guide on this trip, he was cute. I didn't want to talk to him about that. But anyways, I was in pain. I had to deal with the situation, so I built up the courage to talk to him. And I was like, explained it. I was like, can you write in Cyrillic? Can you write pharmacy? He's like, sure. So he writes it down in Cyrillic, hands me a piece of paper. So I go off into the streets of Moscow, walking up to strangers, going, Zdravstvuyte, and showing them this piece of paper with Cyrillic on it. And they'd look at me, they'd look at the piece of paper, and they would just go, da, da. Like they were in complete agreement with me and understanding, and it was this amazing connection, but they weren't pointing me anywhere. And then I realized after a couple hours that this piece of paper didn't say pharmacy in Cyrillic, it said constipated. I'm Tiffany Schlane, I'm a mother, filmmaker, I founded the Webby Awards, and this series is about how the future doesn't start somewhere far off in the distance. The future starts here. So that was kind of my first experience with what I'm calling punk rock diplomacy. And recently I've been thinking about how a lot of times when we see international relations, it has this distant, deep formality. And all of that work is very important, but there's this whole other layer going on that not a lot of people know about. That's not as much about resolving conflict and more about making connections. I feel so lucky that for the past several years, I've been part of this amazing program with the US State Department, which started after World War II when a bipartisan group in Congress got together and thought, how can we make sure another world war doesn't happen? And they came up with people-to-people diplomacy. The idea is to connect across borders on a human level with culture, art, music, and ideas rather than just politics. So in the early 1950s, they sent what people called the jazz ambassadors, Louis Armstrong, Stan Getz, and others all over the world. And it was this great success. And so the State Department kept the program going and added more components. Like the program I'm involved with is called the American Film Showcase, and my feature documentary Connected was selected. My first trip with the program was to South Africa. We just arrived in Cape Town and look at that rainbow! She's from the embassy, which sounds so cool. Then I went to Israel. I am walking along the old city of Jerusalem. And those trips have been some of the most profound experiences of my life.
It's very powerful.
And the reason I'm calling these experiences punk rock diplomacy is because the connection is so raw and authentic. On these trips, when I'm visiting countries, I'm talking to filmmakers, exchanging stories, and there's this incredible realness. And punk rock music was sort of a reaction to all the big, glossy rock shows that were happening in the 70s. Up on stage, big lights, separation between band and audience. And then punk rock was more DIY, edgier, more connection to the audience. And I think that's what this program is all about. I'm not saying punk rock diplomacy is better than politics. It's just that there are more and more ways for people to make connections across borders. We've started a new experiment with the program that we're calling virtual cloud filmmaking salons. When I can't travel to a country, we're hosting these online video workshops with filmmakers, and we've already done them with Lebanon and Egypt. And the workshops are centered on what my team and I have been doing for several years that we call cloud filmmaking, where we make collaborative films with people from all over the world with cell phones. And it's been this amazing experience of creating with all these filmmakers.
What you need to succeed in the 21st century is to remember how to keep a human connection.
Nelson Mandela once said, films are a powerful tool to foster understanding and tolerance in the world. And I do feel like with these cloud films, every time we make them, we're making these new synapses in this global brain. With the internet, the possibilities are endless for this kind of diplomacy. And just like punk rock, everyone can dive into the mosh pit. So I'd like to invite all of you to join in making one of our cloud films. We almost always have a call for submissions on our site, and we'd love to collaborate with you. So whatever your passion is, you can think, how can I connect with someone in another part of the world over that similar passion? And those connections, that's punk rock diplomacy. And that's gonna create more empathy in this world, and we need more empathy in this world. Tiffany Schlain. I'm a mother, filmmaker. I founded the Webby Awards, and this series is about how the future doesn't start somewhere far off in the distance. The future starts here.